Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 270. And in today's episode, let's just take a few seconds and talk about empowering employees to correct hazards. So that's a very easy statement to say. We want people to fix the hazards they find out there. Some of them, of course, are very easy fixes. Some of them are very hard fixes. So when I say this, I want us all to kind of think of a nuanced approach. It's easy to say this, but we obviously do not expect employees to take on a capital project, come up with a plan and budgeting and all that. So what we're talking about are fixes that they can do themselves, given their responsibility, competency, and all that kind of good stuff that, quite possibly what you have is a fix-a-ticket system, and of course there's probably all kinds of different names and software out there, but empower the people to do a fix-a-ticket. Fix-a-ticket is, it's tracked, there's now a hazard, there's a heads up out there, of course. And like all things, now it's on the list, so it has to be addressed. So you may find, of course, that when you ask people to correct these hazards, that there's going to be a increase. And management will say, well, why are we unsafe? Well, it's not that you're unsafe, it's that you have empowered people to correct the hazards out there then. So I have seen a couple of places out there that because of budget and funding and all that kind of stuff, then it's only a few people who could really go back and address hazards and correct things and all that, because what they're really worried is that people will go hog wild and just put anything under the sun. People are just spending money like crazy, and is it really a hazard or not? So I don't know how many safety professionals have seen the effects of a new chair in the workforce. At times, when a new chair appears, well, all of a sudden, everybody wants a new chair because theirs is worn out, they're having some ergonomic issues, and is it really that, or do you just want a new chair? Do you see where somebody got a new chair? And of course, obviously, if the ergonomic issues are there, they have to be addressed. So like all things, we just can't say, well, we've decided that because one person got a chair and then somebody else was saying, hey, look, there's some ergonomic things out there, we're just going to go spend and get 500 new chairs for every single person here. So again, we talk about a nuanced approach then, and empower employees to correct hazards. When you find something wrong, they should have the power to fix it. If they're having trouble understanding how to fix it, the steps to go through, do they need a plan or money? Do they get with their supervisor? They get with the safety professional, quite possibly both, and say, okay, so now the three of us, how do we correct this hazard out there? So again, I'm talking about that they correct the things that they can control within their competency and job and all that kind of good stuff then. So I have found that this approach works really good. I have found that in very rare cases has it not worked out good. So this is something that actually takes time to get started, because people hear you say this and they say, do they really mean we can address things, or is that just stuff they say because they have to say it in management, but when we go to do it, they don't do anything but slam us and tell us that we're doing something wrong or we did. Let people correct their own hazards. A lot of times they really know how to correct this, and they're lacking that self-confidence. Maybe they've been told, you just keep your head down and your mouth shut and just keep on working and working. If there's an issue, somebody will fix this. But your job is to keep the equipment going and make that widget and just keep chugging and chugging. So I know that we've done a lot of talk in the last couple of minutes about a nuanced approach. So if you choose to roll this out, of course, don't think it's an overnight success. Like all things, it takes time to really populate. It takes time for folks to understand it. it also takes time that they understand that you're serious about it, because a lot of places have gone through this initiative, maybe not on a monthly basis, but on some kind of basis where they're like, oh, here it comes again. Now we're going to try this. Now we're going to, you have to give it a chance and have a little patience out there. And like all things, you got to do a follow up, because you might think you rolled it out awesome and great and everything. Maybe people still don't really understand. So sometimes the problem is us as safety professionals. We think we've communicated effectively, and we haven't always done that out there. So let's wrap up today's episode. We talked about empowering employees to correct hazards, and what we mean is given their competency, what they can do, and all that good stuff. We certainly don't expect them to look at a hazard with fall arrest and come up with all the engineering things and the the anchorage points and the all the other kind of stuff. Then but what can they do given their responsibility, competency, and all that stuff? So thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. David Ayers. Have a safe day.